Well, hello, 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 hello. I almost feel like I forgot how to live stream today. It's been so long, but hi, everybody. Hi, I've got a special guest tonight. Do you want to introduce yourself, funny girl? I think everybody knows who I am.
Hi, I'm back. Thanks for having me back on again, Ray.
Oh,
I'm excited.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. For those of you who weren't around the last time I joined Ray on a panel, my name is Funny Girl, and I am a fourth year undergrad student studying psychology. And hopefully getting ready to move into my master's program next year, specializing in psychotherapy and addictions. So we're here to kind of just talk about how out of control Foodie has gotten over the last few days.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really something.
it is yeah, it is. Hey everybody. I just want to make sure I'm saying hey to everyone. Hey to my mods here. So thank you guys for being here. I tried to let people know. I don't know. I'm hoping that StreamYard is now behaving because it's been giving us some issues today for some other channels. So yeah, I'm just glad you're here too. She just put out this live, and obviously we're not going to be here all night to do this, but yeah, yeah, I have been watching her recent mukbangs, and I'm getting very concerned. I guess that's the word I want to use. I don't want to be, being harsh on her at all, but what are your thoughts about what's going on at the moment? I mean, I have my thoughts. What are yours? What are you kind of picking up from her current situation? And then we'll just get into this live, and I'll make
Yeah.
sure I speed
So
her up because she goes on for two
my
hours.
yeah, my thoughts
Oh,
my thoughts is she is clearly devolving as each day goes on. And I think that she's just completely given up
right,
on trying to save herself, really.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just, I've was reading a little bit today about oppositional defiant disorder in adults. And she seems to hit a lot of those boxes. I mean, obviously, we are not here treating or diagnosing anybody. We are just here for educational and informational purposes only, even though Funny Girl is in school. Training to become is it a therapist, or how do they classify it in Canada? Because obviously you're in Canada and I'm here in the US, so I don't know if they use
Yeah,
different titles
yeah.
at all.
So in Canada, I don't know if it's different in the States, but in Canada, in order to be considered a psychologist, you have to get your PhD.
Okay.
So I don't think I'll probably be 80 years old by the time I finish a PhD. So, so I've opted to go as a psychotherapy route.
Okay.
Yeah, now we also have the option of like they call it like a psychologist assistant. So that's an
Okay.
option as well too, where you don't need your PhD,
Wow.
but you just require your master's, I believe. But yeah, but my goal is to work in psychotherapy. So
Excellent. Excellent.
yeah.
Well, I know that they will be so appreciative, any of the patients who have an opportunity to work with you, funny girl. I know they will appreciate that. I had people telling me yesterday they would never want me to be their therapist.
Well, sometimes it's hard because you see somebody like Foodie, and you know besides the fact that she has an addiction to food, she has so many other mental health issues going on at the same time. So it's hard to like a patient like her.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's she's very angry today because again, I think that you will, and we'll see this, that there are people who are sort of reporting her, I guess, in Kuwait, and there's a lot that's going on there. And I think, in my sort of perception of her, for those of you who don't know, but I'm sure most of you do know, because I keep telling people, I switched my major. Well, I didn't switch. It's hard. Well, I guess you would say it was my major in some ways. I was still in the Masters of Science in Nursing program, but I switched from acute care adult gerontology to psychiatric mental health. So obviously, I'm kind of, watching this and watching her feel, she's somebody who I think she likes to think she's in control. And I'm wondering,
not,
she
yeah.
feels like she's can't control this situation. I don't know.
She's not in control of anything in her life right now. I don't think, like nothing. And I think that's a big part of the problem. And I think the fact that she's also, I'm going to mute myself while my dogs are barking.
Oh yeah, they go nuts. Junebug's like over here, like ears pricked up, like what's going on, man? That's probably the most excitement she's had today. So
Sorry,
yeah,
I had the TV on, but it was muted, and the commercial came on with the dog and the TV. So they just started barking at
emphasis.
the
Okay,
TV.
thank you, Daft Clinker. Sorry, you changed my focus. Yes, my focus
Yes.
changed. My focus changed. I had all the core classes continued, and then I decided to change my focus. Yes, because I realized that in order to help patients like Chantel who have unmanaged, uncontrolled type 2 diabetes, it would be important for me to help address a part of the component I think we don't address a lot, or we're learning to address it, and we need more for us to address it with the patients. It's obviously the mental health component, which is going to enable her to, or patients like Chantel, to potentially have some type of success were they to seek treatment. And I was reading a lot today about disordered eating, specifically BED, and food addiction, and substance use disorders, and how they might all intermingle with one another. So it was quite interesting because from what I was reading, how they manage BED is they do it very similarly with anorexics, in the respect that they kind of let them kind of, choose like different types of foods to eat, kind of, that liberal sort of feeding, but learning how to do portion control. And they're finding that potentially people who have food addictions and underlying obesity issues and having, potentially the substance use disorders and so forth may need a different type of treatment than they were using initially. So it's interesting because it's still not, food addiction is not included in the Diagnostic Statistic Manual 5,
No,
DSM-5.
no, it's
But
not.
no, it's not. But they're realizing there might be, especially with westernized diets, that maybe there's potential that this needs to be looked at further. So I'm thinking that she probably does have those three things intermingling together: the food addictions, the BED, and the substance use disorders, obviously, that she had in Canada.
Yes, no, I agree. There's if she wasn't overindulging in food, and if she had access to other substances in Kuwait, she would be abusing them as well,
Right. And
as
there is,
food.
right. And there are questions as to, because the other day there were a lot of people who thought she might be taking substances because of her behaviors.
Well,
Did you hear about or
there
read about that or see about that at all?
I've heard a bit. I mean, but there are a lot of over-the-counter substances that you can abuse too that have codeine in them,
Right.
like
Right.
so it's very
Yeah. And
possible that she's abusing over-the-counter, sleeping pills. So,
right.
mm,
She just said about her. Oh, hi, Marilyn Lee. Just come on in. She's new. Hi, everybody, too. She said, I just at my first live. Yes, that's how you spell Ray. Oh, you like my channel. I am so glad you've lost over 80 pounds. You know what? Slower the better, girl. Slower the better.
yeah.
Congratulations on that. What do you want to say anything to Marilyn Lee, who just joined us? Funny girl.
Welcome, Marilyn. Welcome and congratulations on your weight loss.
Yeah, absolutely,
With
absolutely.
a over 5 years, it's probably going to stay off.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's the way to do it. You can't just go skinny queen like Chantel thinks she can do overnight.
Yeah.
You mean if she just didn't eat for a week, she would not lose that 15 kilos?
Yeah. I'm sure that 15 kilos is back on.
Right. Yeah. And I have no idea what her, you know, yeah. Let's just get into this and let you then let my audience and I know some of the folks watch you too. And if one of my moderators could drop Funny Girl's link to her channel on in the chat, I would certainly appreciate that. That would be great.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Go check out Funny Girl. She just started up her channel and we're obviously enjoying conversation. She did a very good chat around manipulation the other day. And I think that's certainly a tactic that Chantel likes to use with her audience. What are your thoughts on that? And then we'll get into this
Oh
video.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She manipulates everything in her life, everything. She's not honest about anything. Like
No,
she's not honest about her current visa status in Kuwait. She's not honest about whether she says she's married. I don't think she's actually married. She might have some sort of maybe religious ceremony, but I don't think that she's actually legally married, that it would be recognized in in Canada.
right.
Um, yeah, it's yeah, she's not honest about anything in her life. She's deluding herself about every aspect of her life.
Right, right. She definitely, I think, is oh, Stella says Funny Girl is wonderful.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, let's just hey, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I have all sorts of people telling me all sorts of crazy things in my comment sections, and I
Oh
love
yeah, they will.
I love to pin them right at the top too.
Yeah.
Uh, they don't realize that their engagement with my channel just happened to get me my first brand deal. So thank you
Oh,
guys.
that's awesome.
Yes, I did. I got a brand deal. I
Great.
probably will get more than Chantel
Yeah.
because I'm not as caustic and abrasive as she is. Even though I talk about her caustic and abrasive content, and she was, I mean, this is the face tonight. And then the funny thing is that she at some point they go into the dark. But let's just get this started, and then you can let us know your thoughts as we go along
All
on
right. Yeah,
this.
I haven't seen it yet because I worked all day and then I spent a couple hours. I volunteer at the Safe Consumption site, so I was there and
Oh.
I came home to this. So
You mean you're out there doing charitable acts during?
yeah.
Well, how dare
Imagine,
you?
eh? I know.
You mean because foodies, we know she's supposed to be in the time for the feast of sacrifice, and as I said today, the only thing being sacrificed is that poor girl's pancreas. And if you're a member of my channel, you can drop me sad pancreases and poor kidneys in the chats and glucometers all the time because she is definitely doing all of those things. And I know, hey, Weena Marie Leah, she's definitely dropping in some poor kidneys today. Those poor kidneys. I need a heart with like a bandage on it too. My goodness. I just don't want her to have an event in front of everybody on live stream. But her body is a medical miracle, but she cannot be feeling good. She just cannot be feeling good.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna speed her up. I'm gonna put the chat here. Oh, hold on, Chantel. I know you got your mouth full, girl, but I'm not ready for you. Why she has come out here eating a piece of bread? I am not
So she
sure.
had that massive Chili's meal, I'm assuming earlier today, so earlier in the same day. And
Correct.
now yeah, okay.
Yes. And now she needs a piece of white bread.
Okay. So much for only eating online or for a video and then not eating anymore.
She does tend to keep to her word, I find, which is a whole nother question. Okay, let me speed her up to at least, I don't know, 1.25. Sometimes it's more for me and my being able to understand her than anybody else. Because sometimes, It's a different accent for me a little times. Okay. All right, Miss Chantel. I was going to leave up her live chat just so we can see what, people are saying to her. I'm surprised she had like 500 people pop on by, but she was definitely in a rage today. So this is why this one's interesting, because she tried to do, I think, the nicey girl one yesterday. And then I think she's gotten, she's back to herself today. So, all right, Chantel, take it away, girl.
Before I eat a garlic. Hi, Comfy Denial. You found me from the hate channels. Thank you, Uncharted. Carrie, Minnie. Hi, New Dawn.
Okay, I thought I was. Hey, Eloise Conan.
Julia.
I thought I was speeding her along.
Hi, Eloise.
I'm not even addressing you, Blue Pot.
Oh, Blue Pot.
What does that mean, Rosalia?
We love Blue Pot.
The Chili's video. Thank you.
We do enjoy Blue Pot and their comments. So
yes.
Already she is thanking somebody. This person. What are your thoughts on her audience? Let's just talk about this, because now we have Jackie here. I enjoyed the Chili's video. How?
I think that a lot of her audience that make comments like that are probably in the same position that she's in physically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then like when they see somebody else doing it, then it confirms that when they're doing it, it's okay.
And I mentioned that, and I think of one of the things I did recently where I said birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And YouTube is certainly providing a platform for them to flock together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, they really need to define, if they say this is not acceptable behavior, then they need to stick by it.
And I'm curious to know what their actual sort of, I've read their terms of service on this, and I just don't understand, like, literally, what would she need to do to show them that she has this, I mean, she said it 1,000 times and they still allow the channel to be there.
Yeah, so she has acknowledged on her channel that she's a food addict and she has BED when it's convenient for her. When it's not convenient for her and people are questioning whether she's breaking terms of service, then she's neither of those things,
Right.
She's just eating on camera,
Right.
And, yeah, so.
Yeah. Okay. Now my dog's barking. All right. What's that?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna hear mine probably on and off all night, so I apologize to headphone users if they're a little loud.
Well, Junebug is doing her job. She had to bark at something at the door. Well, thank you, Junebug. You're such a good girl. Yeah, she's gonna want another walk after this. All right, Chantel, let's just keep going. Let's see what you got today, sweetie.
Thank you, Jackie.
No, you shouldn't order something. Oh, it's a sandwich.
Hey, SYL.
I need an idea what time of day it was in Kuwait when she was live here. Must have been in the evening or.
Yeah, I think how many hours difference is it? Because this just finished 3 hours ago. Or she streamed this 3 hours ago. So she probably just finished it about an hour ago, I want to say.
Okay, so Google tells me that it's 2:30 a.m. there, almost 2:30 a.m. So it was quite late then.
Well, she said that she had injured her back. I don't know if you heard that. She said
I saw that on Twitter. Yes.
And she said she heard her back go pop. I don't know what the wake-up call will be. It obviously wasn't that event she had a couple of weeks ago, but she gets real ragey in this one. Let me see if I can just bring her along a few more minutes just so we can get through her introductory section and actually get to her talking. Okay. All right, let's go.
Spicy Mayo, hello.
Yeah, she doesn't make the connection that that her physical condition is directly related to how she eats. She's totally deluded about that. She says she hurts her back. She said she heard her back pop, but to me, she's viewing it through the lens of, well, everybody hurts their back. It's not because I'm 300 pounds overweight.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's so what do you feel about the justification of this sort of stuff? How is that to you for her?
Well, I mean, she'll use any excuse possible to justify what she's doing at the time, right?
Right.
Any she'll find the mental gymnastics she does sometimes is just you know, mind-boggling.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting to see how she does want to, and I'm trying not to show her eating, and I've had a lot of people thank me that I'm just taking stills because I kind of still want to highlight where she's problematic, just to kind of, bring attention to, it is anyway, I won't get into that conversation about how to present it in a way that is beneficial for a community at large, but not harmful to a community that may be triggered by her content.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like
Understand.
it's a fine line, I feel, to walk
It is.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you were talking a little bit, and before we get, I know I keep stopping her and asking questions because that's who I am. I mean, how do you feel about sometimes how other channels potentially, because I think you were talking about that a little bit the other day, and how other channels react to her content or how it's presented in the community at large, because that's where my concerns have started to come in.
Well, I mean, as I kind of mentioned before in in my videos and stuff, is like when I started watching Chantel, I always watched her through Reactor, and that was because, initially back then in like 2017, 2018, the Reactors roasted her, right? They weren't,
Mm.
um, whereas now I found that a lot of the Reactors in the community are just straight out, uh, they're they're very vile in their approach to her, which is fine. I mean, it's not really my cup of tea anymore, but I've kind of I'm with you in that I would like to be looking at this through a clinical lens and the damage that's being done, and then making information available to people so they know what's actually surrounding addiction, BED, different health issues and things like that. So people know what's surrounding it. And because she's totally unreliable as a narrator, don't believe anything Chantel says about medical related. Don't take anything she says. And, I mean, and on that same note, don't necessarily take anything we're saying because we're not diagnosing anybody or anything like that. But, just using the knowledge that we do have, putting it out into the community to encourage people to get their, to talk to their own medical teams if necessary.
Right. And I think one of the things I might actually start doing, and I might start with this one tonight, is starting to link the number down, at least for the United States, for national eating disorders, and getting those numbers out there. Hey, Dr.
Yeah.
Falcone, come on in. He's over from my Timiverse.
Oh, welcome.
All excited watching people get fed. It's like, yes, it's like it's food porn. Yes. Yes. It's birds of a feather flock together. Now, before we get, and I keep stopping, have you seen anything from this gentleman, James Brightman from the UK? Have you checked his channel out? Yeah.
No. Does he reacts to Chantel?
He does. And I'm actually trying to get him to come on a panel because he is a type 2 diabetic. And
Okay.
he also used to get approached by the feeder community.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so he's very well aware of their content desires.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched, and he actually had to stop it. He reacted to her eating all of those desserts, or at least having all of those desserts in front of her the other day.
Okay, I will definitely check him out then, because especially if too, if he has a little bit experience with being approached from feeders, because I'm all about deviant behavior as well, and learning more about that too. So I would definitely be interested in checking out his videos.
Yes, and he is a type 2 diabetic, and he is absolutely horrified by, yeah, he's very knowledgeable, Sam. Yeah, that he would be a great collab, Eloise. He really would. He's somebody who's obviously, has his own, management for his size. I'm trying to use nice language because I don't want to
Hmm.
make people think I'm bullying people about their size, because I'm not. It's just that, unfortunately, and this is a clinical word, obesity and morbid obesity can lead to a variety of health problems. And there
Right.
is scientific literature to show that. So it's not that we're trying to say that these people are less than valued, or they're not validated, or they're
No.
not important, but we do have to educate our younger members of society that we cannot normalize these types of eating behaviors and expect for, Chantel talks about traveling and doing all these things as if her health or her size are not an impediment to doing these types of activities.
Yeah, I mean, and regardless, uh, the health conditions that she has because of her obesity, like I could not imagine what position she would be put in, and not just her, but even Salah, if Salah is traveling with her, if she were to have a major medical emergency outside of Kuwait in another country,
Right. I mean,
where
yeah,
she doesn't have health insurance. We know
yeah,
she doesn't have health insurance because she won't pay for it, you know, and anything that she might possibly be covered by our Canadian health insurance is very little when you're out of the country. Very, like, it is the bare minimum, bare minimum. In fact, I don't even know if that they'll pay for you to get repatriated back into Canada. You probably have to arrange for that yourself.
right. I
So,
mean, it really is not the responsibility of the Canadian taxpayer, in my mind, to be responsible for your poor travel decisions if you're not
right.
in good health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I
I
mean,
know.
there needs to be, and I wonder sometimes because, and this, Canada is so generous with their healthcare. Does that give her like carte blanche to feel like she can neglect hers?
Well, I think that's part of it. I think because she's always had the Canadian healthcare system to rely on, and I think even now she's still relying on the Canadian health system to save her when it comes to having those medical emergencies. But she is going to be in for such a rude awakening if she gets severely sick, either in Kuwait or while they're traveling to a different country to renew a visa or for whatever reason, and she gets sick. Like she's not like she's not gonna have anything she'll be lost completely because you know to try and get back to Canada when you're ill, first of all, you're going to have to be medically stable to travel
Right,
before they'll even let you travel. And then you're going to be responsible for all of those fees, you
right,
know, all
right.
of those fees.
My thing is, I just had a friend of mine who had a stroke at 55 years old, and he, or just before his 55th birthday, actually. And he did not have issues with his weight, but he did smoke, which he does smoke the shisha. He did drink, and he did not manage his blood pressures at all, which I am sure she has very unmanaged blood pressure. I know every time they see her in the hospital, it looks normal. Sometimes I even wonder about what I see when she shows her medical stuff. But anyway, I just worry that, well, I'm not really worried. I try. I mean, I guess I don't want to see anybody ever have to suffer. Even if I don't find them a particularly likable person, and I would still not want her to have a stroke somewhere and find out. If you don't get to a stroke center within a certain amount of time, you may not be able to take the TPA to reverse the stroke.
Right, right. But
And
she's
it
not
also
thinking about,
depends.
yeah,
Sorry.
she's not thinking about any of that, though.
Yeah, she thinks we're all haters if we talk about that. So
Yes,
anyway,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right, let's let Chantel keep going because she says, "Okay, let's talk," and then she sticks a sandwich in her mouth. Okay. Oh, Sam, I know. I'm
Hey,
so
Hissy Fits.
sorry.
I like Miracle Whip on chicken burgers only. We're talking about whatever you guys want to. Hi, Paul Freed. Lucky Annie. Do you guys want to play Pictionary or something? I know Ghostface the numbers. So this sandwich is just
cheese and
Right.
butter, looks like.
chicken luncheon meat, Ruby cheese, mayo, and mustard.
Luncheon meat and cheese.
Yeah.
After she just ate some of the most, her blood pressure has got to be sky high.
Mm-hmm.
That Chili's meal had some obscene amounts of sodium in it.
Yeah, along with her cholesterol, like all of that stuff has just got to be through the roof.
I looked up the nutritional facts supposedly about that Chili's meal. It was hard to find because they only did it as a chicken or a shrimp, and she had a chicken and shrimp mix. But the sodium, and this was for a serving size, and it looked like I don't know if what she had in front of her was a serving size or 2 serving size. It looked like a lot of food to me, and that it was 3,820 milligrams of salt or something like that, which I just could not believe.
Yeah, I think Sansa Cook's already posted a video about it, so I haven't watched it yet, but she's really good at getting the macros.
She is. I put a little bit about it in mine today just because I was curious to know what were the calories, what were the the salt content, the fat. It's just amazing to me. Anyway, let her keep going. And now she's out here with more processed food, more salt in that cheese, more salt. It's just, what is it about this and the mind of an addict? Explain.
Well, I mean, the addiction cycle, right? Like you have no control over it, right? You have no control over the addiction. So it's just your brain just keeps in that cycle where you need that relief. So it builds and builds and builds in your brain until you get that relief, and you get that release of dopamine or serotonin, and then so you get that momentary release. And then once your brain processes the current supply of dopamine and serotonin, then, the urge starts building up again, and it just keeps building and building and building until you get that release again.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm convinced she ate before she went live, Claudette. Oh, yeah. As Sal said, she had 2 bags of tortilla chips. She had,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. I feel like she's getting worse.
Yeah. Just from what she has posted over the past several days in her mukbangs and stuff, it's just, yeah. And you can see it in the way that she's eating as well. Like it is addict behavior 101. The difference is that it's food instead of, an illicit drug or alcohol,
Right.
or sitting in front of a machine at a casino, or
And the other thing, sorry to interrupt, that I found interesting is that it's obviously when you're a monetized channel, when you get paid, and she's a few days away from payday, so she should be running out of money. But she's had more money than ever for these types of meals, which makes me do think that she does have people who are sending, because she said, I make thousands of dollars from eating, and I don't think she's making that much from YouTube anymore.
It's possible. I mean, it's very possible that maybe through her cameos that people are ordering specialized cameos of her just eating,
Correct. And paying for these meals, because this is not inexpensive food.
Yeah.
In a foreign country, something like Chili's, that's, even though it's not great food, but in another country, it could be potentially, costly. All these subs, I mean, the amount of money that she's been spending on food is not somebody who's, probably running out of money. So I feel like she is getting some money from elsewhere.
It's very possible. Yeah.
So yeah, because she was bragging about it the other day, and that was the video she took down. So anyway,
Yeah.
all right, let's get going. So she says,
I don't have
interesting.
pen and paper. Ow. There was something crunchy, I think, in the cheese. Ew.
So she seems to be having issues with her teeth
It's not
again
all Chinese.
too.
Okay, I'm gonna have one more garlic because they're intense.
So, which can be a serious indication of heart issues, dental issues. Yeah.
Right. I mean, somebody asked me, is she really a type 2 diabetic? It's like, it might be the only thing she's truthful about.
Yeah.
I had a medic ask me today, how is she still able to do this? I mean, people are just astounded that she's still somewhat functioning, but I've noticed that she can't keep her train of thoughts very well.
No. Not at
So
all.
I think the food is playing more on her, and people in her chat, sandwich looks good. Yeah. It's like, really? Come on.
Mhm.
These people are her enablers sitting over
Yeah,
here.
that's all they are. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
just enabling her.
It's just it's scary. It's kind of it's brought me into a dark place that I did not know existed. I mean, I've known a lot of dark places, but this is a whole new level of dark, you know? Oh, all right. It's like the kids at the college saying, drink this. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
I know.
I don't know who that is, light pink mommy.
I know.
Meep, have you ordered stuff from Temu? Do an impression and we'll guess who it is.
All right. Let me see if I can bring her along a little
What did
bit.
you say, Vile?
Because I know she gets,
Use mustard to draw.
because she gets,
I don't even think
What do
she
you-
tastes like I don't know how she tastes anything because she just swallows it so quickly.
right.
Yeah.
Rosalia.
So she's in a good mood up to this point. Now I'm going to start to
I
bring
don't
her
think it's
along.
nice to draw pictures of
She
people, but I really
does
like
start to get angry. So I know when it gets in, somehow
You
she
like
ends
Temu?
up in the
What
dark.
are you doing, juice?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's in the cheese or something crunchy.
All right. So since we are limited for time, I'm actually going to speed her along because I know she started to rage after about this point. So
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know about in the
Yeah.
first hour.
I'm interested to see her rage because I think that she's probably going to be you're going to see her raging a lot more because she realizes that she's just got absolutely no control over anything in her life. So
Right. That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, that's what I'm kind of thinking is like she's got these people that are encouraging her on one hand to go into these addictive behaviors because they're supplying her with the money to do it.
mhm.
And then, she's got a lack of control on the other hand because where does she go? What does she do if this house play in Kuwait falls apart?
Right. And I think that so she's on a tourist visa, so she's got to leave I think at the beginning of July and then have to get her visa renewed. And with all the changes going on in Kuwait, who knows if that will happen or not. So I think her immediate future in Kuwait is very much up in the air for sure.
Right. And I think the government there is just cracking down on it. So she's really got no say into what the government knows.
No. And all when she says that Salah is sponsoring her and stuff like that, it's all bullshit. Sorry. Sorry, Ray. Didn't mean to. Hopefully, I don't demonetize you, but
No,
yeah.
you are fine. We are far enough into this live now that would not be demonetizing. So
Okay.
don't you worry. Don't you worry. You are fine. Okay, so she brings out Howie. We don't know which version of Howie this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a whole other thing
Mhm.
going on, another layer. Let's just get into her because she's good mood at this point, and for some reason it goes dark.
Okay,
So,
let's see why.
yeah.
Let's put him back in his cage because he's gonna jump. He wants to escape.
So I don't know if they
Enjoy your cheese snack.
Oops, what happened?
Babe. It's a ghost.
So they go into the dark at this point.
Bye, Hal. Look at his big butt. His baby jaw. Baby's gonna fall.
Don't worry.
Oh, sorry. Every time I hear his voice, I'm
No,
just
I don't like
"Ugh."
it.
What? It's better.
You like it better like this?
Yeah.
Blair Witch. The part where she has bugs? No. Thank you for bringing Howie. Of course, big man.
Of course.
You big man. He has cheese in his cheek.
So I don't know
Exactly
if he switched the light out or what happened.
Okay. If you say.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, babe.
Oh my goodness. Face looks so beautiful. I'm sorry. I don't want to laugh. Rosalia, she's under 15 filters, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not how Chantal looks. She doesn't even have this color eye.
No.
I don't even think she knows what she really looks like. I think
No. No, she's so used to looking at herself through filters that, I don't think she knows either.
I don't know if
So.
I'd even recognize her on the street
Yeah.
from the face.
Yeah.
Just, if I actually, well, I mean, obviously I'm being hard on myself, but her chat is just wild. Okay, she starts to go off at this point, I think,
You
soon.
love Hal?
Let's let her go.
He's such a good boy, too. Did you see his little hands holding the cheese? You're the cutest boy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
He's more than cute.
Yeah, he is. And Salah came a long way because he never even to touch him, he would freak out because he's not used to holding like rodents and stuff. Can you do a Richard Gere with Howie? What do you mean?
She looks better with
I
the
love this
lights
lighting.
off.
Thank you.
Oh,
guys like it?
you never
I'm
got the
like,
notification?
I gotta bring you guys in my
I
kitchen
don't know what
next time
happened.
I do live.
YouTube's wild
Make
today.
some tea, make a snack.
You see? The people, they like the spotlight like this.
Okay, so it seems
That's
like
okay.
that Salal might have taken the light out, actually. I wonder why he decided to turn out the light. So, oh gosh, this girl says, he's so loving with you. Do you get that sense that somebody would bring that many trays of sweets to somebody is loving towards her?
Nope.
Well, he's going to go off about that in this chat.
No.
Yeah. All right, keep going, Chantal. Let's hear you rage, girl. Well, we
Says,
don't really
"Here's
want to hear you
Johnny."
rage, but
Here's Johnny. The old horror movie.
Yeah. I told him, he's like, where's that from? Here's Johnny. So I showed him the trailer. He's like, hell no, 1980s, 1980 whatever, too. I don't know.
It's like after the World War II.
He doesn't like watching older movies. Well, like past the, not like earlier than the 90s.
Yeah, it's got high rating.
Yeah, I've seen it like a million.
so Salal must be a real movie buff if he doesn't want to watch Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Yeah.
Most of the best
Yeah.
films were made before the 1990s, Salal.
Yeah.
In my opinion. They actually had storylines in those days. My goodness. Okay. All right. So what film connoisseurs the two of them are, hey?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chantal. Keep going, girl. Let's hear you get
Sometimes.
mad because you're going to go off of this
Yeah.
short.
1 and 6 zeros.
Well, yeah, pretty close. Okay, that was exaggerated, but about 130.
It's palatable. Catherine, you're so fucked.
It's creepy.
I saw like only the trailer.
Creepier than Saw. I want to play a game.
I want to play a game. I want to play a game with you.
Yeah. Hello, pieces. You have 1 minute to cut off your leg and escape the trap.
Okay. All right,
We
Chantal.
were getting mad because the guy would have 3 minutes. This guy had 3 minutes.
Your life in that box.
Yeah.
So live or die.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah, he had 3 minutes to cut open his scalp, take his head off,
Okay,
put
thank
a
you.
piece
All
of
right.
Well,
brain.
clearly
But no.
Chantel has chosen not to live with her choices. It's just a slow death.
No, I don't. At some point, it might not be slow.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
You're right. At one point, at some point, it won't be. It will be quick, I think.
I'm a medical professional, and just having worked with patients in vascular floors and having to see people get amputated for diabetes and smoking and other vascular diseases, because diabetes is a disease of the vascular system. And
Yeah.
people don't seem to understand that.
She certainly doesn't understand it. She just thinks about keeping her blood sugars low.
And that's not even half of the issue with
No.
diabetes type 2
No.
or diabetes as a pathology in general. So she is very uneducated around this, which is why it's infuriating to watch her come out and eat the way she does and try to say, I'm taking my medications. She's going to go on. We'll get her going.
They're Persian. They're not Arabs.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. Imani, they don't speak Arabic.
Yeah. I only found that out recently too, Golden Girl. Melly, yeah, we don't have any Puffak, any cheese puffs right now, but that was cute, when he tried to stuff it. Teddy Ruxpin, I used to have one, and a cricket doll. What do you call a hippie's wife? What?
Okay.
We're
We're going to bring her along a little bit further just to see what.
Yes, and Killer Clowns, yes.
Because I want to get to where
The
she
new
gets
woman with
starts
so-so.
to get a little bit more feisty.
He didn't watch Kill Bill yet, no.
Okay, more film
The Last
talk.
Unicorn.
All
It's like a cartoon, isn't it?
All right.
Ice Age? Or
Ice Age. Oh my gosh. I only think I saw one of those movies.
She never knows what to talk about, then she just talks about movies. Okay.
Well, if you read the
Yeah.
Quran, you would know that.
Okay, here she goes. Here she goes. Okay. All right, let me take her back a second. This is when she starts blowing off. It's at this moment because I just heard her say about the Quran.
Yes.
And then this is when she starts to go. Okay. Watch
All
her
right.
face too, funny girl. Because she's been obviously very lighthearted up to
Yeah.
this spot. And then the true Foodie Beauty, the true Chantel rears her head.
I was just gonna say her lightheartedness is not it's so fake. I think she's always got anger simmering underneath the surface.
Do you hear it in her intonation or what gives you that?
Yeah. You can tell it in her face too, her body language.
Yeah. All right. So off you go, Chantel.
Muslims eat sweets during Eid, so I'm not sure why reactors are hounding you about that. It's a celebration like what you do to sweet Sunday. Oh yeah, I don't even care.
they know nothing.
Yeah.
They know only about their basement.
Yeah, people are like, oh, she's using that as an excuse to eat sweets. Well, don't people how many people every Christmas say, oh, it's Christmas, I'm gonna eat what I want, like eat all kinds of pies and everything. Give me a break.
They interfere only also in the religions, they don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
They are so pathetic.
I mean, react to that all you want. I'm gonna keep eating what I want, and it's my body, it's my life, and I don't know what to say about that. Like if you're gonna say the same thing every video, oh, she's eating pizza, oh, she's eating this, oh, she's eating that.
Before you become a Muslim, okay?
Yeah.
Before that, they never know about anything about this.
Yeah.
They know nothing.
Exactly.
Salah is being a bit of an ass there.
Yeah, what's
There's
your
a lot of
impression
people
of this?
Well, to Salah's comments, first of all, there are a lot of people that know Islam, so making a blanket statement about the fact that everyone is ignorant to Islam is just ignorant in itself. And then her comments about, people commenting on what she eats. Well, okay, first of all, you put it out there. People are going to comment about it. If you really don't care, then don't address it at all. Just flat out don't address it. If you don't care what other people are saying about what you are eating because it's your life, your body, your decision, don't address it at all.
Do you hear that type of rhetoric when you work with people with addiction issues at all, funny girl? Do you hear this type of?
Yeah, because it's justification, right? Like people will bring, yes, there are reactors that are just flat out being rude to her, but then there are also people that if they do try to show genuine concern or genuine criticism, an addict's natural reaction is to be defensive because they don't want to acknowledge that they have this problem, right? So they will use any excuse to get around it. Well, it's my body, it's my life, I can do what I want. Don't watch me or don't support me. Or, what she said earlier, how many people around Christmas time, eat, lots of sweets or, treats and stuff because it's Christmas, Yeah, people do that, but a lot of people do that within reason, and most people aren't doing it every day. She is doing it every day.
Right. Every day is Christmas in the Chantel
Exactly.
household.
Yeah. And there was absolutely no reason at all. Like if she wanted, yes, okay, she shouldn't be eating those types of sweets that she was eating because of her diet, her type 2 diabetes. But, if she really wanted, because it's a cultural thing and it's part of her religion, and she felt like, she really had to have some, there's no reason why she just couldn't have a bite or two of a couple of them, not to sit down with platters full of them in front of her, or to buy platters full of them to begin with,
Right.
to have even in the house.
I never
again,
see her with portion control.
No, no. So it's all like, this is all, when I say that she's deluding herself about everything, she's deluding herself about everything. She is not even just a person who's a little bit overweight. She's not even a person that's just obese. She is, severely morbidly obese with several health conditions, along with addiction, BED. She cannot be engaging in any of these behaviors. Any of them.
Right. And Lacey, Chantel's backup pickle, brings up a good point. I think she has a mood personality disorder in addition to her food addiction.
Yeah.
Does
She
that
might very
often
well
go hand in hand with addiction?
Well, they can. Yeah, they can. They can. Quite often, people that have untreated personality disorders or mood disorders can become addicts because they're not treating their disorders properly. So, you won't hear me comment on whether I believe she has any of those disorders, because, as I've mentioned before, you can't determine that unless you do the extensive assessments on her.
Correct.
So,
And physical assessment is a very big part of trying to get any clear diagnosis for a patient. And I don't even think she's even been around long enough with a therapist to even get a physical assessment.
No. And to find out, like, to be assessed for a personality disorder, like I said, the assessments for them are very extensive and very thorough.
Right.
And often it could be just, it's just, so as I've said before, she displays characteristics of a few different personality disorders.
Correct.
But to flat out say whether she has any of them, I can't comment on that.
It's speculation, and
Yeah, and it would be completely unethical for me to
and me
comment
too,
on
and
that.
me as well. I would not be able to, I would have to be like Dr. Grande and only speculating as to what could possibly be happening in this situation.
Right. Yeah.
And I can speculate that there is research and evidence that shows that often these types of addictive behaviors are often accompanied through literature when reading, with different types of mood and personality disorders, and many times it can be bipolar disorders that go along with it.
Yeah, I mean, and for
I'm not
anything
saying
that
she is. We're just talking in a clinical sense here.
Yeah, so I will. So for anything that I have studied when it comes to bipolar disorders, is that people often mistake bipolar with actually depressive disorder.
Right, but there's two types though. There's type 1 and type 2, and one
Yeah.
goes up and one goes down.
Yeah, so type 2 is, the symptoms can they very closely mimic depressive disorder.
Correct.
People think because they see somebody's moods going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, that they might be bipolar, when a lot of the time they have depressive disorder, because someone who's type 2 bipolar, when they get into either a manic or a depressive state, the behaviors are so extreme and long lasting that people become aware of them very quickly. So someone that, if they're in a manic state, then they're not sleeping for days. They're constantly going.
Yeah.
They they can't shut up. Like they're constantly talking, and then when they're in that depressive state, they can't even get out of bed for
Right.
like, and it's not just days, it could be months.
Right.
So whereas, people might show similar symptoms with depressive order, but they're much shorter cycles
Right. And she
than someone.
mentions having depression, but she's obviously not been diagnosed. So she's just,
Yeah,
everything she says is just her speculating about herself
right.
because she's never
Yeah.
been properly treated or properly diagnosed. So when she's talking about her different, things going on, she doesn't know. She really does not
No,
know.
no, because she goes to one appointment and that's it,
Right.
you
But she'll
know.
tell her audience, oh, I've got everything. And, I mean, I've had to work, unfortunately, with patients who have bipolar, probably type 1 sometimes, because they are the ones that used to end up in the heart hospital where I used to work after having 3 days of Colombian dancing dust.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my polite way of calling that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
Not to be
um
harsh on Colombia. It's just a
yeah.
nickname.
Yeah. I have a family member who has bipolar too, and I instantly know when they are in a manic state.
Right.
Instantly. Yeah, and usually they go into that state when they stop taking their meds.
Oh, but you have a good night's sleep, Slam, and we love that you're showing support for our LGBTQ plus friends out there. I'm all in support for that. My family found out that I attended a gay pride parade in London many years ago because my stepfather was quite high up in the Navy. I didn't realize that people used to watch me from the government. And because they wanted to see what their family members were up to for like security purposes. I had no idea. And I had a very good friends of mine who were lesbians, and so they asked me to go as a friend of a lesbian to the gay pride in London. This is sometime in probably the 80s or 90s. So I had my little badge on that said, I'm friends with a lesbian. And I suddenly get a call from my parents like, why were you at a gay pride parade? I'm like, what? It's very
uh,
spooky.
A-
Very spooky.
Angel Angel of Glass, I see there that you posted that you have bipolar. If
Oh,
if you don't mind sharing, are you bipolar 1 or bipolar 2? Only if you don't want to share, that's fine. I'm just curious.
yeah. Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, Angel,
Yeah.
that's all up to you. But we appreciate your honesty in that. We obviously, talking about it because, from literature I was reading, it was one of the potential sort of diagnoses that could go along with the types of behaviors that Chantel exhibits sometimes with her food addictions, her potential, what we're speculating, because obviously she's not been diagnosed, but we speculate around that, and obviously her BED and her substance use disorders too, because I think, like you said, were she in Canada? I mean, she's demonstrated that through the Cuba, the Natter era.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if that was just for relationship, or is that really something that's of her personality type?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think I think it's related to her personality type, and I think that Nader brought out those traits a lot more
Right.
because he was always in combat with her, and she didn't have control of the situation.
Right.
So, yeah. So I'm curious when you start your classes if there is a lot of discussion around bipolar disorder, only because with all of the clinical classes I've done for diagnostics, uh, almost all of them have the professors have said, and even with one psychiatrist that I did a short stint with, have said that bipolar is being diagnosed incorrectly in so many cases these days.
Hmm. Is it an overdiagnosis, kind of like ADHD with kids?
Yeah, like people again, the people are mistaking are being diagnosed with bipolar when it's probably, like I said, depressive disorder.
Right. I know here in the United States, it's very difficult to get these types of mental health diagnoses for patients. It's
Hmm.
very, and the ones that I do see are bipolar in the chart.
Yeah.
So that makes me think, is that being overly used as a diagnostic code?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so I'm just curious about that. Just that's, like I said, through the clinical classes I've done, and then I did a couple seminars with a local psychiatrist, and her opinion, again, her opinion is that uh, bipolar is, I guess, being overdiagnosed or being mistaken for general depressive disorder.
Right. Yeah. And I think often, when we're dealing with mental health, is that we're obviously working a lot of times with questionnaires and different types of, models like
Right.
that, which rely on the patients
Yes.
and their response. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that could potentially askew things on occasion too.
It
Or the
can.
tools
Yeah.
may not always, we might not have the best tools still yet to do correct
Right.
assessment.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, blood work can help for some,
Right.
because it
Especially
can maybe
schizophrenia, I think more.
yeah, or doing some of those different brain scans can help with some diagnosis, but you're not going to get those unless I think you're again in severe crisis,
Right. I think the
like mental
field of
health crisis.
neuroscience is definitely one that, as we get better with imaging, I think we can get better with maybe finding out the links between these types of different traits and brain function,
Yes. Yeah.
because there's a lot to do with brain function
Oh
that
yeah,
we can't
absolutely.
see,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's
And it's just not enough. There's not enough resources out there right now to say to, if you want to test everyone's brain function that might possibly be bipolar. Well, it's too costly right now. There's not
right.
enough machines out there, not enough technicians, all of that. So yes, you're right. You're there. The people, the diagnoses are coming from self-reporting for the most part.
Right. And we have also, have to think, especially here in the United States, that these people that are potentially having these types of traits may have poor work history. So they're not insured. So they're not going to be getting the best, ability to get seen, and get those types of expensive scans and so forth, because we're working with a population that is potentially out of work, isn't carrying insurance, so there's so many limitations, and the money just isn't often there for mental health the way it needs to be,
No,
I think.
no.
Yeah. And then we have Chantel out here just ruining people's mental health from
Yeah.
what I have had so many
Um,
people thanking me for not triggering them about her content and reporting her.
I see Tellu is discussing TMS therapy for her resistant depression. Um, it can be very successful. So if I hope it works for you, if that is the road you're thinking about taking, it can be very successful. So anyone who doesn't know what TMS therapy is, it's transcranial magnetic stimulation therapy for
Mm.
depression,
Oh,
and it it's something that would be used on, again, someone who is is on the severe end of depression. We're talking about someone who would generally be hospitalized for depression.
right.
Um, you know, at least here in Canada, that's my understanding of it. I'm not sure how it might be used in other countries, but in Canada, it's my understanding that it's a type of therapy that would be used for someone who is hospitalized for depression.
Right. I worked, and this was some years ago when I did my rotation in psychiatrics, and I worked with patients with depression. They tend to, medications tend to be very popular here in the United States,
Hmm.
especially in an inpatient setting. So, and that's kind of what I saw was more medications and, the patients getting, lining up at the little station, getting their meds. It was very one flew over the cuckoo's nest, I want to say.
Yeah.
It did not seem to have progressed much further from the 1960s, I'll be honest.
I'm not sure that it's much different now. So
Yeah.
tell you just I'm not saying that you're hospitalized for your depression or anything. I'm just saying that within Canada, as far as I know, that's the type of situation where it would be used, is
Right.
someone who would be hospitalized.
Oh no,
for
they do
depression.
hospitalize here if they have any. Obviously, I've worked with patients with major depressive disorder in patient settings who are adults. So, and teenagers who, those are an interesting group. My goodness. Anyway, let's just Chantel continue because she's gonna rage here. We could go off. We could just sit down over a drink and talk about this. Except
I know,
40
yeah.
I'm on 40 days of antibiotics, so I'm not drinking anything. What a fun summer for me. Okay, Chantel, take it away.
Ron, you would know that that was a passage.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, whether like if you were reading the Quran, like you said, well, just because I stopped reading the Quran for a while, it's like, how many of you people claim to be Christian or Catholic and don't read the Bible all the time? Like, give me a break, They hold you to a standard that like it's none of their business. Anything you do with religion is between you and God, and that's it. Exactly. Go ahead.
Then don't talk about it, Chantel. Don't tell stories regarding your religion if you don't want people to comment on it. Whether she's right, whether she reads the Quran or not is her business, but don't get upset when you tell a religious story and then people call you out on it for basically just Googling it on Wikipedia, which is exactly what she did. So.
At least I even went into like probably beyond Wikipedia when I was trying to look up about this particular festive season in Kuwait. I was looking at all different types of resources because I really wanted to make sure I understood what the celebration was, and
Right.
she
expects other people to be respectful of her religion when she doesn't even respect it herself. Like, this is why people don't like you, Chantel.
Well, it's just, it's just, I feel, and this is just my opinion, that it's a mask. I feel like or not a mask, but like she uses it as a rationale to excuse her bad behaviors.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll pray to Allah, he'll forgive me, or, he doesn't care. And, I just think that I mean, we can't understand. We can't, obviously, it's religion. We don't know. We don't ever want to say that you're not doing this, that, and the other. But I feel that she's I've had a lot of Muslim friends, and I just don't think she's adhering well to the religious practices, is my thoughts.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But I'm not Muslim, so I guess I can't comment. So this is, you can see she's starting to build up over here. Can you see her building up over here?
Yeah.
The nice has gone away. Now we've got Foodie. We got the real Chantel. Okay, keep going, girl.
All the religions, they teach us to not show the hate for the others, right?
Yeah.
Hate for others. Two of them.
No one's perfect. Like, even God himself expects you to be a sinner.
But they are angels,
Yeah. Exactly. If he loved you, he wouldn't let me eat that. He doesn't control what I do, Dixie. It's up to me what I put in my mouth. Like, what do you want him to do? Well, like that? It's not going to happen.
No, he doesn't have to go buy it.
Right. Yes. Can we?
Because she's not going out and buying it. He's buying it and bringing it home to her.
Right.
He's ordering all the food and bringing it, and
there was some
getting it delivered.
Right, and there was some potential that he purchased those sweets for her because he wanted to go and leave and spend time with his family, in a way to kind of placate her, was to put all this food in front of her.
Yeah, no, and I would agree that that's probably what's happening.
Yeah, because she looked real happy in front of that tray of sweets.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, beaming like she'd won a victory.
Yeah, that's typical again of addict behavior, right? When they get their fix.
Right. Oh yeah, and
So.
and the fact that she said she wasn't going to eat any more than those few bites. Do you believe
Mhm.
her?
No.
Do you believe
No.
that she has the control to not eat that stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I just, the two of them together, I think are very. This is not good. They are not good for each other.
No.
Like,
He's just like I said, he's just there to placate her until she can't come back anymore.
right. I'm wondering what is he getting from this relationship. But anyway, let's carry on with Chantel. I'm not really worried about Salah.
You know,
Give me a double break.
give me a double break. I like that. They want proof of life of the desserts that are still in the fridge. Give me a break.
Oh,
Dead Alive. Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
she
forget
says
that
the
movie, but I
desserts
did
are
rent it
still
a
in the fridge.
long time ago.
Mm.
They're empty-minded, exactly, Living Laura. Islam is gradual. Same with hijab. Some girls don't wear them. And yeah, just because I'm not always perfect and follow everything to a T, doesn't mean that I don't believe in God and in Islam. It's like, I don't know.
Like suddenly they become teachers, professors, doctors, and philosophers.
Does anybody
Yeah.
believe that she prays multiple times a
Yeah.
day?
I'm sure she's praying, but just not in an official sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's like praying that, just the way that we pray, like, oh gosh, I hope, but I don't think she's intentionally sitting down for prayer.
No.
Does that makes
No.
sense?
Yeah, no. Yeah, of all the years I have watched Chantel, the only thing she is ever consistent in is shoving food in her mouth.
Right.
There's yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like, no,
No, yeah.
girl, you're not even close to perfect. Oh, she does like to use that idea that I'm not perfect. Okay, let's keep
Yes.
keep
Yes,
raging.
we know.
She gonna keep on raging, girl. We know you're not perfect, Chantel. None of us claim to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. Why do people? What is this obsession with the word of perfection?
So again, to me, let's just say that if I was counseling somebody like this, if they kept using that excuse, well, I'm not perfect. I'd be like, absolutely, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But it does not mean that you shouldn't be held accountable for your actions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that she does, in my opinion, lack accountability. Who is she accountable to other than herself? And she doesn't care to even be accountable to herself, I feel.
No.
All right, keep going,
No.
Chantel. Keep raging.
Yeah.
She's gonna go.
I know. Well, silliest of geese, my blood sugars are actually lowest than they've ever been. So
Bullshit.
I know people say I should not laugh because I'm a professional. But
Yeah.
what has somebody who is a registered nurse with over a
Prove it.
decade of experience?
Yeah.
And we've got you with your experience and me in grad school.
There's no way. There's no way they can be with what she's been eating. Like, there's no way.
There is
Anyone who's
absolutely no
not,
way.
yeah, like someone who's not a type 2 diabetic, if they were eating the types of foods that she has been eating online over the past few days, their blood sugars would be elevated. Like,
James
it's
Brightman was
just,
saying he'd be in a coma.
yeah, it's physiology. It's like you can't argue with that, Chantel. It's physiology. You can't say that you're eating all that crap and your blood sugars are the lowest they've ever been. It's not possible.
It's the denial that kills
Yeah.
me.
Well, it's that delusion. She deludes herself about everything.
Right. I feel that your laugh came from disbelief. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am in disbelief.
Exactly, Deborah.
You
Yeah.
know, I get so many people like, you laugh and mock her. I was like, I don't think I mock her. I
No.
specifically try not to mock people. I
Yeah.
use her as a discussion
you're-
around these problematic behaviors from her channel.
It's not mocking her. You're calling her out on her obvious lies.
Right. But for some people, that is like crossing a line. You know, I
My,
don't.
then I my opinion on that is then those people have problems facing accountability as well too.
Right. And she just, and she doesn't want to even face the accountability of the taxes that she owes in Canada. And I've heard it's
No,
gotten much higher now, like maybe closer because she hasn't paid and she's still making money that might be getting closer to $50,000, $60,000 she now owes.
it could very well be. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just amazed that your government is so lenient.
Well, yeah.
Maybe Canada needs to make people more accountable.
You know what? It might not necessarily be that they're so lenient because once you get to a certain amount, they're going to start trying to collect them.
But do they put them in prison like they do in this country?
Well, no, they won't. But what they will do is they will gain access directly to your bank account and they will just take the money directly from your bank account.
Well,
So
see, then that may be why she wants to get Salah to Canada, because then she can set him up with a bank account, and then she doesn't get anything out of
it could
her.
be, yeah. I mean, if she's in Kuwait and she doesn't have a Canadian phone number anymore, the government might be sending letters to her mother's house constantly trying to collect the money. But if she's not there, she's gonna ignore them, right? Like she's just, I don't, if I'm not there and I don't see it, then the problem doesn't exist.
Right.
So, but it will get to a point, and I say this because I try not to reveal too much information about my personal life, but
Right.
one of my oldest friends actually works for Revenue Canada,
Okay.
and she works in the collections department. And I have not given her Chantel's information or anything like that, but I have asked her, what happens if people don't pay? Like, what do you guys do to finally collect? And she said they have a couple of options. One of them, they will actually go to your house and seize any assets that you have.
Well,
Or
there's
they
the
will,
Kia gone. There's the Kia gone.
or they will actually gain access to your bank account and they will just take the money right out of your bank account.
Right. And I always think that Chantel is somebody who tries to circumvent everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she would love to then get Salah to Canada and set him up with a bank account so the money goes directly to him. So she's showing nothing in hers under her.
Right. And again, that, that's all what I don't even know how that would be possible, because I think for him to even come to Canada, he would only be allowed to come right now on a visitor's visa. So he wouldn't be able to open a bank account. He would have to come with so much money. He'd have to have, enough money to go back, so.
Right. And I wonder if she is also, you're popular.
Yeah.
I'm not that popular, and I've got a few minutes left with you. I know you need to get going. So let's just play her out so we can finish this up, and then I'll let you, and we'll just like finish out the night here because we're just having a conversation. We're not trying to show too much of Chantel around here. We're having a chat. All right, keep going, Chantel.
Yeah, Jobin, the CRA
You
will
don't see
catch
what I
up with
eat
her
the rest of the
eventually.
day. You don't know what I do.
Yes, I mean we have a lot of Canadians who are actually watching
Yeah.
this. Yeah, she'd get garnished in the U.S. Garnished, if there's nothing to garnish, she'd be in jail. Because that's where tax evaders go in the United States. They put Wesley Snipes in jail, for goodness sake.
Yes, yeah, we're not quite that bad in Canada. Although, I would imagine if it got up to hundreds of thousands of dollars, might be a bit different. But yeah.
I can promise you, it makes you want to pay your taxes here.
Yeah, oh yeah, I bet.
Nobody wants to get into trouble with the IRS in this country. It's the worst people to get in trouble with in this country are the IRS. They will jail you faster than anything. And they will freeze everything. They will garnish your wages. They will take everything from you. They do not care here. And so that makes it, those of us here in the States, we're like, how does she get away with this? Jeez, that'd be a jail sentence.
Well, I do think that in Canada, the Revenue Canada does have the ability to garnish your wages directly too. So they could very possibly go to YouTube or Google, I guess it is, and say all of her money comes directly to us now.
Alexis, is that the IRS giving a lot of chances? Because I don't know. They'll slap a fine on you and an increase.
Yeah. Canada will give you a lot of chances for sure. They will.
Yeah.
So.
Not the IRS. They will file and send you all sorts of paper and make your life a misery here in this country. They will. Your dad nearly avoided jail for tax evasion. He had to pay off. Now, Bella, was your dad in the U.S. or I know you said you've not been in the U.S. for a while. Is that Canada? She eats for 2 or 3 people a meal. She eats for everybody. Let's just be honest. She has done no charitable acts in
No.
Kuwait whatsoever. What did you think when she was asked? I don't know if you heard about doing something to help the families with the fire, and she just seemed to say, didn't think it was anything that she needed to have a responsibility towards.
No, I mean that's Chantel. She doesn't care about anybody else. You know, she is one of the worst people I've ever seen that tries to display empathy and doesn't actually feel it. So,
And that's
yeah.
gonna that's dark and deep.
Oh yeah. Like I said, you know, she definitely has characteristics of
She's in the dark triad. Let's just be honest.
so
Speculatively.
she has characteristics for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, she
So.
does. Yeah, she does. All right, Chantel, let's get this finished so Funny Bone can get on with her
Ooh,
night.
don't know what
Nothing
meds I'm taking.
Yeah, about the personal life, what we are doing
Yeah.
behind the scene.
Yeah.
How they know, how they create or invent the stupid theories.
Oh,
from their,
okay.
AWS.
Well, that was lucky.
Exactly.
It's so weird to me.
Yep. Hi, Norma Jean. I never seen The Edge. Stopped watching a few YouTube channels for the constant harassment too, and others started feeling. Yeah. I started feeling ill. That ill feeling you feel after watching something negative like that it's depressing. It's bad for your, like, I don't know, people who have no problem watching like that negativity and like just constant, constantly. It's just like, it's true. It makes you feel like not good. Like it's not positive content. So why would you feel good after it? You know what I mean?
What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, Imani.
Well, I mean, there's lots of people that argue that her content is not positive at all. Again, it's can be harmful. So
Yeah.
you
Why
know.
is she?
I know watching her content makes me feel a certain way. It doesn't make me feel positive.
Yeah. And I just am interested because Amberlynn Reed has probably as many channels reacting to her. Now, she doesn't go quite as live, but I just don't see her getting quite as angry as Chantel does.
No. And I know people have their problem with Amberlynn Reed. And she's definitely manipulative too in her audience and stuff like that. But I don't know, for when it comes to Amberlynn Reed, I've actually started getting back into her content again. I haven't watched it for a while. I don't know, I just, for some reason, she gives me a little bit of hope that maybe she's going to figure it out one of these days. I feel like she gets close and then maybe something inside of her, like gets scared and she goes back to old habits, whereas when it comes to Chantel, to me, I feel like she's just given up completely. And she doesn't want to change. Whereas I think Amberlynn is kind of in that cycle of change where she's almost there. Like she starts and one of these times it's going to stick. I feel, so with her, I feel like it's a little bit more positive.
Yeah. Well, let me not let you stay too late because I've got just a couple of minutes. So let's just listen to one more minute of Chantel and then
you know what? Let's do another 15 minutes. So
okay, perfect.
I just need, let's do another 15 minutes. And
okay, excellent. I just want to make sure I'm respectful to the time that you're giving to my channel tonight. I'd love to have you back.
I have to make some dinner, so I haven't eaten yet. But so that's why I was like, oh, I better cut myself off at a certain time. And I got a barbecue, so I got to barbecue before it gets dark. But I'll be good for another 15 minutes.
Okay, excellent. All right, Chantel, because she's getting into the good part. You say, well, I mean, at least to the part where her true colors are a little bit more revealed than the sort of fakey nicey that she had. We've got, she just can't hold back. She just can't hold back. Okay, let's talk.
I don't care. Judge me all you want, whatever. I never claimed to be perfect. Whatever. Like, I don't care. Yeah.
That I do not believe that she does not care.
No, she didn't. If she didn't care, she wouldn't address it.
Right. She is actually, and she engages with the reaction channels under sock accounts. She's coming
Oh,
to
yeah.
my live streams as Sarah
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah.
Openly coming as
She
Sarah
does.
Lee.
And she spends all her free time watching videos about herself or checking to see what's being said about her on Twitter.
Do you think she enjoys getting angry towards these things? I mean, why would you want to stew yourself into this?
So I think this is part of her feeling like she has to be able to control the narrative when it comes to what people are saying about her. So her constantly watching what other people are making videos about her or reacting to her or posting on Twitter and stuff, it is her trying to control the narrative, find out what's being said so she can control the narrative.
Right. Chantel, you are you're just on a roll at the moment. Let's keep going. Her chat then starts going. Hissy Fit says, I don't know why those people are so angry all the time. It's exhausting. I
Yeah.
did not realize I was so angry.
Yeah.
I think I know the channels they're referring to.
Yeah.
I mean, but are her subscribers also then giving views to these people that they're saying something against? Because it's
Oh, I'm
only going
sure
to
they
help those
are.
channels out.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
they
sure they
understand
do.
that?
Yeah, because well, we know they do because she'll come in and say, or she'll, something will be said on Twitter or in a reaction video or whatever, and her supporters will go to her chat and tell them what's being said and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, Sunny Days there saying she needs to win. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. She has to be the winner in all of it, when she's ultimately going to be the loser.
Well, she lost out the other day because she had to take that drama stream down. So
Yeah.
that means she lost money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she wasn't winning then. For what? Do you have any theories as to why she took that video down?
That was that the video. I actually didn't see it. I think I saw a couple clips of it here and there, but was that the video where she was like threatening other reactors in it
Oh,
as well?
yeah. She was, saying that she was going to take, she was going to get an attorney and take Kybella to court.
Okay. And then that was the same video where I think she even like threatened to call Milk Tea's place of employment.
Oh, did she say that
Something
too?
possibly, I'm not sure.
I know she said some disparaging comments against Milk Tea and was
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, so my guess is that she took it down because she realized that people were probably going to report it for breaking terms of service, so she deleted it.
Well, I reported her.
Yeah.
I saw that video got taken down.
Yeah.
She moved on that quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I wonder when she's criticizing Milk Tea, is it because she's actually envious that she has more of a life in the Middle East than she has?
Yeah.
And more education?
And Milk Tea is able to again prove her wrong when it comes to her lies about the way things are in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny
yeah.
when she comes and interacts in my channel, she tries to defend her behaviors, but she doesn't ever call me out.
No.
And she
No.
knows I exist.
Yeah, there are certain reactors that she won't, and my guess is that maybe why she doesn't call you out yet is because you have the medical background to prove her wrong.
Right. I've offered to debate her.
Yeah.
She's not taking me
She'll
up on
never
my
do
own.
it. No.
She won't.
She'll never
Why
do
not?
it.
Why not?
Yeah.
I would love to debate her. I would
Yeah.
love to debate her one day about her misinformation around type 2 diabetes. I would love to
Yeah.
debate her on that.
But you're not her doctor, Ray. You couldn't possibly know how type 2 diabetes is affecting her. You're not her doctor.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
don't understand pathophysiology. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I love Milk Tea too. She's a class act and she doesn't
is.
react to it. And that probably gets under her skin even worse.
Oh, that too. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because that's the classy way to handle it.
Yes. And, with some reactors who, make disparaging comments about Chantel and call her names and stuff like that, it's easy for Chantel to strike back at them because, she just calls them names back and stuff. But with someone with Milk Tea who actually calls her out on her BS and a very, her very polite way of doing it, Chantel can't fight back against that because she's not smart enough.
Right. And, in the UK, we use that type of, being so polite, and then kind of turning the screw at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's more effective when you can have
Yeah.
a structured argument towards somebody and
Exactly.
not show a great deal of
Exactly.
emotion. And
Yeah.
I think that she just shows so much emotion sometimes.
Yeah. Boo Squeezy, I see there that, Chantel called you a low life addict. It's funny that she calls someone else an addict when she claims to be a food addict herself. So, and congratulations on your sobriety.
Yes,
For 11 years. That's
absolutely.
amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's absolutely, that is amazing. And that's her projecting her problems upon you, Boo Squeezy. It's absolutely nothing to do with you, in my opinion. That's her.
No,
That's her.
absolutely.
She
And
thinks she's a low life addict, I'm sure,
yes,
sometimes.
yeah. And I kind of, again, I live by this adage: being an addict is not a moral failing.
Right.
I know, like I said, I spend a lot of time in that world, obviously, because
Right.
through my volunteer work and stuff. And, I know addicts that I would have placed my faith in over, someone that goes to church every week.
Right. Right. Exactly. You don't ever shoot. There's sometimes hiding more than you know. A
Yeah.
lot of the
So,
times,
yeah.
So yeah, she is derisive and divisive and other D words that I can come up with. Yeah, you go, girl. You just don't ever let her ever take your strength from you. Yeah,
No.
that's yeah. Milk Tea has facts. Chantel knows nothing about the Middle East too. She's
No.
I just
Yeah.
in her,
She's just so ignorant to everything. And she
right.
doesn't realize that's why people have an issue. Instead of, trying to learn about the country that she's in, she doesn't. She sits in an apartment all day because she can't stand the
Right.
heating. So, yeah.
I don't see that she genuinely has an interest in Kuwait or its people.
No, she doesn't.
I think
Not
she's
at all.
using the country as a cover and a shield to escape her problems in Canada and her
Yeah.
life in Canada.
Yeah.
Because it was a hot mess express when she left.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And while maybe there's not as much drama necessarily happening in her daily life in Kuwait, she's still not dealt with any of the issues that led to that drama.
Right. Claudette says Chantel doesn't want to look inferior to your knowledge and she'll never debate you.
That's exactly it. Exactly it.
But she's the smartest, most beautiful woman on the internet.
Yeah.
Chantel.
Yes. Yeah.
98% better looking than anybody else.
Yeah.
Or whatever she says. Okay, let's keep going, Chantel, because I know you're just in a great mood tonight.
Yeah, Brianna. And the thing is, a lot of people who judge me, like,
and most of them fat, and they fat shaming you.
Yeah,
and they eat salads.
They only eat salads and healthy food. Yeah, only pineapples and salads and quinoa.
And maybe some kind of fruits without the extra sugar,
Yeah, so I don't know how you spend 3 hours criticizing me eating pizza and then get offline and go and eat Burger King or something like that, because there's no way you're obese or overweight.
And intelligent people, they know why they are doing this.
Yeah, money.
Views. Stupid people, zombies, like, flowing like the sheep behind
I
them.
agree, Joanna.
Flowing like the sheep. Yeah.
I can't stand them either.
Oh gosh, yeah. We're not fans of Salah. Unfortunately, I can't
Yeah.
just take his voice out on this. I don't
And
have
just
the
yeah.
equipment. This was an interesting comment I felt from her chat. Well, I just think it's funny how people judge you for eating what you want, but yet they can go step outside and get hit by a car and die, or be in a plane crash. People die every day. What the heck? And people, you're just beautiful the way you are. Remember that.
So is that
I
person acknowledging that Chantel is literally killing herself with the way she eats? Is that what that person's trying to say?
think they're just trying to
Or
say that you should just be
or-
able to do whatever you want, because you could just
yeah,
go out and
it
you'll be
all
dead. So why
yeah,
not just throw caution to the wind at all times?
yeah.
Why have any control when you're potentially die? And I cam up, as we can see. I'm behind the camera. I'm not hiding my face. The only time I wasn't was because I was literally having an infection that I did not want to
Right.
frighten people
Yeah.
with my nose. And I've even showed myself weighing myself, Chantel. And let me put it this way. I'm too thin at the moment. I'm just gonna say that, because I'm not trying to brag about a weight over here. People, it's not that much. I'm too thin for me. I actually had I had something come through one of my doctors saying that they were concerned about my low weight. It's like,
Yeah.
so I think it's I think that I love the way they say every one of us is obviously, and I'm a plant-based eater too.
Right.
Because I'm a cardiac nurse by trade. So obviously and I just ain't funky like that anyway. I never liked fast food. I've never been that person. So I think to paint us all with one brush is, I think, interesting. I guess they think there's only one type of reaction or commentary channel, and that we're all unhappy people, and we don't have any skills, and we're not educated, and we're
No, I know. Yeah.
and
And again, that's just that's her being delusional.
right,
Another way
feeling
for
better
her
than
to,
everybody else a little bit.
yeah,
Right?
exactly, to
A little
justify
bit of
her behavior.
superiority there,
Yeah.
All right, Chantel, keep going.
Really,
It's
really
true.
stupid.
They don't even cam up. Yeah. Yeah. They can say they're not this fat anymore, but
I dared them
Where's the proof?
to come up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even care how fat they are, because it's not a competition to me. It's not, I don't compare, like, I don't care like about other people, how fat they are, how thin they are. Good for you. Like, I'm just concerned with my life, and that's it. That's why my channel is about me,
I thought she wasn't talking about herself anymore.
Yeah, she's obviously not that concerned.
Right. I think there's been a lot of different commentary reaction channels, such as Kalari and a couple of others, where they have talked. And the Charlie Gold came out having lost weight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know that just eats away at her.
Just,
Yeah, because she thinks that as long as everyone is fat, and even possibly as fat as her, that she's above them. But if somebody loses weight, then she can no longer call them fat and say that they're no different than her.
right.
When again, I will say that people don't care that you're fat, Chantel. It's because of behavior like this that people don't like you.
Right.
Because she would behave like this whether she was fat or not. So,
Right. Yeah. See, I told you she was in a good mood tonight.
Yeah.
Keep going, Chantel, because she's.
Oh, okay, Sessa. Thanks for the, a vlog off. Thanks for the advice.
I'm not sure what advice she gave.
What?
Oh, she
Exactly.
said
Nobody walks.
that unless you walk in someone's shoes, you have no right to judge or pick. Our society has become embarrassing.
No, I think if you're putting it online, people very much can have an opinion as to what you're putting online. So
that is one of the. You can sanitize your comments, because I'm sure I know she does put restrictions on what comments can be seen, because otherwise
Yeah.
her comment section would be filled probably with some really, pretty harsh vitriolic things. And I can understand why she would not want to expose herself to that type of commentary, because it would be, I think, unsettling mentally to read such disparaging comments about yourself. But it's never had her ever seemingly reflect on her behaviors. Like she
Well,
like
that's
doubles
it.
downs on the behavior.
Yes. Yeah. And again, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily even say that people are, judging. It's people are commenting on your behaviors, and in some instances trying to give you back some useful criticism, but
Right.
you're not open to. You just don't want to be held accountable for anything.
Right.
So, that's so if you're not open to accountability, then you're going to perceive every comment as someone judging you.
Right.
So, and I'm not necessarily going to, like, again, a lot of people don't judge Chantel because of her weight. People judge Chantel because of her behaviors.
Correct. And that's what
You
she
know?
has not, I think, been able to understand and separate fully. That
No,
her size and her appearance and her actual behavior.
yeah, yeah.
She
Like
uses
if I'm calling somebody out on if I'm calling somebody out on their BS, it's not I'm calling them out again on their actions. I'm not calling them out on because they're 300 pounds, like.
Well, we're getting ready to. Hey, Pat Ray, come on in. I understand. Like none of my notifications came out, and I don't know why. I tried
Hi,
to get.
Pat.
Yeah, and I did put something out in my community tab, but I'm. I can't ever talk for YouTube, so that's okay, guys. And we're going to be finishing up, unfortunately, very soon because now I've hit the time that I need to let Funny Girl go cook her dinner. So. Let's just have a closing thought because we just kind of saw she's in her usual. I mean, this is how many times have we heard her have this conversation?
Right. Like it's all, it's all the same rhetoric over and over and over again. She just refuses to take accountability for anything. She finds whatever excuses she can to justify her behavior, like, and even, she made that community post about how she, incorrectly told the story regarding the celebration around Eid. And even at that point she couldn't admit that she made the mistake because she hasn't fully been studying the Quran. It was, she's justifying it by saying, well, how many Christians read the Bible every day, or things like that. So she will just do somersaults to justify her actions, to continue to delude herself that everything that she does, everyone else does it too. She just puts it online.
Yeah, and that's a deflection technique. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but look at those people over there.
Yeah, exactly.
How dare they say something? Because look at that person over there.
Yeah.
But
And
they're not
she made
talking
that.
about the person over there, Chantel. They're
No,
talking about
no.
you.
Like she just made that comment a few minutes ago about how, people, rage about her eating a pizza, but then they go out and eat Burger King right after or whatever. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But the one thing they're not doing, Chantel, is they're not doing it online for money, which is what you're doing.
Right. You're
So,
monetizing your potential addictions to food.
yeah.
You are triggering to people who have their own potential struggles around food. You are not considering how your content can appear to people. You're normalizing behaviors with food that are detrimental to your health. You are known to be an unmanaged, uncontrolled type 2 diabetic, but you will consume an entire pizza. And in order to make an argument that you did not eat the crust, you will pull garbage out of a box
Yes.
to show it.
Exactly. That is not rational behavior.
None of that is rational behavior.
No.
None of it. All right. What's your closing thoughts on her at this time, going forward with everything that's going on? And we'll just finish this up.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say, like, I think as the end of the month approaches and she's got that visa run that she's gonna have to do, where she probably will disappear for a few days, I think that we're gonna see a lot of her behaviors just continuing to devolve between now and the end of the month, and then whether she gets a new visa, visitor visa or not approved. So I think
I
that
I
that's
am
probably
surprised that she's
contributing to.
getting so many visitor visas there, and they haven't noticed it.
Well, I think, with the changes the Kuwaiti government seems to be making, I think, and Milk Tea has commented on this before, saying that she will probably get away with it for a while, but it will eventually catch up with her. They will finally realize that, this is not someone that's, this is someone abusing the visitor visa system.
Right, she said that
So,
you could drive across Kuwait in an hour. So how much is she visiting for 2 years?
right, yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
a fairly small country. It's not a large country like India or the United States or Canada or
yeah,
Soviet Union or Brazil or somewhere. We're talking
yeah.
about a country she says you can drive across in a day. She's like talking about a country that's the size of probably Virginia, which I'm sitting in.
Right. And I don't, yeah, and I know like Milk Tea has commented before is where she'll like people will visa hop over there, and quite often she said they don't even disembark from the plane. They fly to another airport, renew their visa while they're on the plane and fly back to, you know, the country that they need to get back into. But she's the countries she is surrounded by are not necessarily the most stable countries right now, like Iraq borders Kuwait, Qatar, can be very volatile at times from what I understand. So,
Yeah.
personally for me, I mean, I guess fortunately for Chantel, although I think she, takes total advantage of the fact that she is a white woman with a Canadian passport, gives her a lot of entitlement. She thinks that she'll just be able to keep getting away with it.
Yeah. I
You know?
think she does feel, she does have, in my opinion, a sense of entitlement that is
Oh, absolutely.
beyond what
Yeah.
is, and just like the entitlement, even when she was going on about Lufthansa, the airline, the other day. So,
Yeah.
so I can't fly Lufthansa. Well, that's because you have to go through Germany, and Germany doesn't care if you can't walk. You're
Yeah.
not disabled in their eyes.
No. No, it'll be really interesting actually to see, if she says they're planning a big trip, if they're going on another trip, where they end up, um,
And where
because
I mean, girl, I
apparently
just
he's restricted as to where he can go on his passport, a Syrian
absolutely
passport. So,
right, right, and she travel, Chantel. You just travel from one room to another.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
She doesn't travel. She
No,
just goes in transportation.
yeah,
It's travel light for sure. Okay. Well, I know you need to get to dinner, and I do really do. I obviously getting late for me tonight too. And I just appreciate your time, and I hope we can get together again when you have time, and we can,
yeah,
continue to talk
absolutely.
about these topics.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy it. I love it coming on here. So, yeah,
I
shoot me
do
a
too, and
message
I can't
anytime.
wait.
And
Because I'll
oh,
have more knowledge coming sooner and sooner.
yeah,
I'm doing
yes.
advanced pharmacology is the class I'm getting ready to enter. So I'm just taking the one class because I need to finish that class in order to go to advanced physical assessment. So I'm kind of, and then I have all types of classes into neuroscience and multiple clinicals. So it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah, I wish you luck with the neuroscience. They weren't my favorite courses.
Really? I'm kind of fascinated. I, I I've already started reading my pathology book on the brain. So I mean, because I'm just a fun girl to be around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have my copy of the DSM-5 is literally beside my couch in my in my end table beside my couch. I'm always going through it and reading it. So
Pat Ray says, when do you start your psychiatric curriculum? Well, I'm taking advanced pharmacology, and then I do advanced physical assessment. And then I'll actually have a pharmacology class that's specifically on the medications that we use in psychiatry. And then I have a variety of like it's coming up pretty soon. I just have to finish advanced pharmacology. But what they will ask me to do when I'm in the class is when I'm working on projects that it's within my focus area. So I kind of start pretty much straight away, if in some ways, because I might be in a class and some of the students are doing family practice, some are doing acute care like I did. And actually I found that a lot of my classmates previously were actually doing the psychiatric mental health. So I was very excited to see that so many people and I was more interested about what they were writing than what I was writing about acute care, dealing with diabetes type 2 and all that stuff and metabolic syndrome. And I was way more fascinated with what they were writing than what I was writing. So I was like, another paper about diabetes. Oh, Lord. I read a lot of papers about diabetes type 2, which is kind of why I started talking about Chantel.
Right.
It was really to give better information because she gives so much medical misinformation on her channel.
She does. Yeah.
She really does. And she goes on in this live to talk about, her diabetes medications. And she talked about how we don't know what medications she's on.
Right. Yes, we know. Yeah.
Girl, we know you're not on insulin yet.
Yeah.
You probably should be, but yeah. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Funny Girl, for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for us to get together again. Yeah, if you have not had a chance to like the stream, please go ahead and like it. Obviously, I think I love having these conversations and not looking at too much of Chantel and just talking around these topics because she thinks we just obsess about her as what she says rather than having conversations around behaviors, which I'm way more interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you like these discussions? Well, you should join Life in 5 members because we get into these in the private chats and members only. We go over papers and all sorts of stuff. So we get into the weeds on this stuff. If you haven't had a chance to join, but I'm planning one soon to kind of write this open letter to YouTube. Oh, I found a fascinating article. So we go over some interesting things in there as well. So, check us out one day. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. All right, Funny Girl. I'm going to play out my music and let us all get on with the evening. But thank you again so much for your time. I always enjoy it. I really do. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And thank you, chat. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Actually, just before we go, if Pat or Angel of Glass, could you just drop in real quick Funny Girl's link to her channel? I don't think I technically can do it as a creator.
Thanks, guys.
If somebody could just before I finish up this chat, I'll remove you off. Let me take you off so you can head off and do your thing, okay? And I'm gonna make sure they drop that link.
So I was just gonna say before I go, I'm hoping to have a live stream tomorrow evening over on my channel, but also on the weekend I'm probably going to have a live stream talking about a family in one of our provinces here in Canada that has a very similar incestual history, considering similar to the Whitakers in the US. So look out for that live stream.
Oh gosh, I saw something about that family in Canada.
The Goler family.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a really old documentary that was made about them back in the 80s, and I'm hoping to have a reaction to that documentary. Have a live stream on the weekend about that. So
wow.
Again, deviant behavior. So my
William Bowler was wild.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I just heard about that family. OMG.
Yeah. So
The
I heard
Whitakers
about
are
them.
like nice
Yeah.
comparatively. And they
Yeah,
have some real issues in that family, but
yeah. So so I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do a live reaction to the documentary that was made back in the 80s about them. So
oh
that's
my
gonna be my
goodness.
on the weekend video, hopefully.
Oh wow. And Rosebud, Pat Ray, thank you guys for
Thank
dropping.
you.
And I'm sorry I didn't catch it earlier, Rosebud. I might have been on my other page looking at Chantel's face, so I do apologize if I did not catch that. Thank you, Rosebud. Thank you, Pat Ray. Thank you, Angel of Glass. Oh yeah, and there's another family like that in Australia. There's another Australia has its family like that too, like the Fox family or something. So check out Australia. They have a family like that as well. Woo! Anyway, all right, girl, I'm going to take you off and I'm going to finish out this stream. So thank you so much, funny girl. All right, guys, I certainly do appreciate you all being here tonight. You were watching Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, the final post is, I'm crushing it. No way. No way. You know what, Claudette? I'm going to have to find that. I need to find that, that little piece so I can add it to Tim's stuff. So yeah, I appreciate everyone for you just found me in sub. Well, thank you, Deborah. Come on in. We have conversations around Chantel in regards to just speculating around people's, different types of personality traits. It's all, we don't treat or diagnose, but we enjoy the conversations. We're not really here, obviously, trying to disparage Chantel. We're more here interested about talking about cults of personality and so forth, and potentially problematic behaviors here that we see on the internet. So we just appreciate all these new people coming on in and finding us. And I'm just excited. Yeah, I'm planning for a new members only live. Trying to think maybe go tomorrow. I wanted to look at one of her videos. Like maybe we'll watch the rest of this portion, guys, and see a little bit about the end of this. So maybe that's what I'll plan to do for the members only, is finish out this live stream, because she's gotten into a really good mood here. So I'd love to see that. They spelled it right, you think? Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I'm crushing it. That's another person who I make commentary on about his sort of problematic, cult. He's definitely charisma and cult of personality. So it's very fascinating. But I just appreciate everybody having been here tonight. If you want to catch us on the replay, you can do that. And I just ask you to take a like if you have time, subscribe. I think you have to subscribe to comment, but all the good stuff. All right, guys, I'm sure there's lots of people. Let Ray see my comment when Funny Girl is gone. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. It's just me. It's just me. Making your members only kind of hard to resist. Well, sometimes it gives us a chance to have, these conversations that need to be behind paywalls sometimes. So that's, something I always recommend to Chantal in order to do that. And I always enjoy getting into the members only lives and just having a good time. We go through YouTube and, serious, I'm still laughing. Oh, good. You're still laughing at the crushing it. Oh my goodness. Tim. Those of you who don't know, I react on another gentleman called Sarasota Tim. And Tim, for Father's Day, supposedly did a talk where he talked about deadbeat dads. And Tim has no business talking about other people being deadbeat dads. Let's just put it that way. Tim has no room to talk, but he does. He does. Yeah. So yeah, come and join us. Yeah. Tim, the glib traveler. Oh gosh. The content is wild. Yes. I spent an entire week reacting to this guy, and he puts out like 5 or 6 videos a day. It almost took me at the end, but I accomplished my task and goal and got it complete. So, and I'm still reacting. And I'm actually putting together he was a bit of a deadbeat. Yeah. He made sure he never made enough money so that he would not be responsible for paying child support. So yeah, he's a real character. He's a real character. I think he was referring to his own father. I'm not sure about that. Oh, his own father being a deadbeat? Well, apple don't fall from the tree, Marilyn Lee. Apple does not fall from the tree, as they say. So, oh my goodness, I know. I can't with Tim sometimes. All right, guys, let me play out the brand. I love you all being here. All my mods who popped in. I know Brooke A came in at some point. Rosebud's here. Pat Ray's here. Angela Glass is here. And I always appreciate you guys. I hope I got your name, Rosebud, didn't I? Yes, I did. Good. Okay, I want to make sure oh, Brooke's back. Yay! I was about to say. Yeah, and Brooke for being here too. So I always appreciate all of my kind moderators who do take their time to make sure. But we get a lovely chat in here, so I'm never worried about things. Occasionally, Chantel comes through as Sarah Lee, but I always say, let her be. We love it when she wants to engage and interact with the channel. So yeah, and I have some fun things coming up. There was something on the members only I wanted just to tell my members because I was very excited today. And so yeah, I had some good news for my channel. And so yeah, because and I don't want to and it's just yeah, you got to watch Tim. Yeah. I was excited because I had some good news for my channel today as far as, my channel growing and being recognized by things. So yeah, it was it's fun for me. So you'll see it one time. And and obviously, okay, I'll just say anyway. Well, no, I'll talk about it in my members only. How about that? Just because oh, your channel is great. Well, thank you, Marilyn Lee. Sarah Lee is always welcome. Yes, she can come on in. I know the chat loves interacting with her, so she's more than welcome to come on into here. Yeah, we can give, this one. So yeah, I think I want to set up a members only so that we can finish out this video because there was still a lot more that I wanted to say, but I appreciate you all being here. We've already been here for a couple of hours and I know everyone's busy. I need to get little Junebug out for her evening walk and get a little bite to eat. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. So let me see if I can find my branding. I always felt like I hadn't gone live in a while. I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, I feel like a novice. But let me put out my thank yous first to all the people who are members of this channel and who do give me an opportunity to continue with this work. It helps, with the cost of just running this, even if it's a hobby for me. So thank you guys so much for that. It's always very, very much appreciated. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you on the next one.